Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I am your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this beautiful Monday afternoon. And the Sun Devils are now ranked in the top 25 of the AP poll once again after being out for nearly a month following the loss to Mississippi State. That was a shocker. And the Sun Devils are back. As we all know, this is an off week for the Sun Devils. I will still be at practice this week. I will still be at Kenny Dillingham's press conference later in the day, a couple hours down the road. But all the same, the Sun Devils are ranked, and they probably will be ranked going into the game against Utah in Salt Lake City next week. And the Sun Devils are in a great spot right now. This is with the team facing more adversity this season than last season. Excuse me. Uh, Cyrus Fiaseu was a late addition to the injury report last week. He missed the game. Jalen Moss has effectively only played a half of football for the Sun Devils. Xavier Alford has been out for a month now. Montana Warren has been out now for several games. And the Sun Devils keep on churning out wins. They keep on showing signature grit and determination, among other adjectives that I could use. And I am so grateful to be covering this team. It's been an absolute blast so far. And let's keep on going and heading into the stretch run of Big 12 play coming up with two of their most challenging games right around the corner. And let's talk about the AP poll placement in today's show. So, the Sun Devils are ranked number 25 in the Week 6 AP poll after starting out 4-1 with a loss to a Mississippi State team that is better than anyone expected them to be. And Mississippi State might only end up winning 6 or 7 games, but they are vastly improved this season and they have a very tough schedule coming up. I believe they play Texas A&M this week on the road in College Station. They play Texas, they play Ole Miss, they play, I believe they get a couple of breaks in the schedule. They play Arkansas and Florida in a couple of games. They also play Georgia and Missouri. So they have a pretty challenging schedule, but the way they played, they almost took out Tennessee last week. I think 7, maybe even 8 wins is on the table for them, and that loss keeps on looking less and less bad as poorly as the Arizona State offense looked for about half of that game. It's not as bad as people thought it was as a loss. So that's something that works in their favor. Uh, Absolutely. And I kind of want to talk about how they stack up against the rest of the Big 12 and what it means for them, and possibly look at the future non-conference opponents as well. So let's talk about the Big 12 first. So within the confines of the Big 12, Arizona State is effectively the fourth best team in the conference in the eyes of the AP poll voters. I believe Texas Tech remained at number 11. Iowa State is within the top 15. And BYU is ranked number 23, so just a little bit ahead of ASU. And ASU's week 7 opponent in Utah is effectively ranked number 27 in the nation, if you want to look at it that way. Obviously, ASU plays 3 of those 4 teams. Still, even after playing TCU and Baylor, they still have a pretty significant stretch coming up. Utah, number 27 team in the nation on October 11th in Salt Lake City. Texas Tech, the number 11 team in the nation, October 18th in Tempe. And then Iowa State, top 15 team in the nation in Ames. They're number 14 in Ames on November 1st. So if the Sun Devils take care of business there, win 2 of those 3, they are in great shape to make it back to the Big 12 title game and possibly even the college football playoff. as the remaining games are against Houston, West Virginia, Colorado, and Arizona, games that they all should handle. They should win pretty substantially in all of those games. Uh, I really don't know what angle to take from Arizona State being ranked 25. I think you can argue that they should be ranked higher than Virginia. I think you can argue that they should be ranked higher than BYU currently, possibly even Illinois and Notre Dame, because Illinois lost the game by 50 plus points, even though Indiana is currently in the top 10. I just don't know if I agree with Illinois still being ahead. Notre Dame, they looked really good against Arkansas. They scored 56 points, but they still have two losses, all the same. Even though they were nail-biting losses to top 10 level teams, they still have two losses. So that's something that's fascinating. As for the future Arizona State non-conference opponents, we all know that Florida canceled and Florida's not in the top 25, so that's a start. But Texas A&M is ranked number 6, and Arizona State goes to College Station next year in non-conference play. That will be a very, very interesting game because there's the distinct possibility that Sam Leavitt and Jordan Tyson both declare for the draft early. And there are a lot of other Arizona State players that are graduating and losing their eligibility. So it will be a fascinating matchup in 2026 with a lot of new faces and possibly a freshman starting at quarterback. That is something that is a long ways away from being a reality, but is a possibility right now, and that's worth monitoring. So, yeah, in Texas, Arizona State's future matchup in non-conference, and obviously a semi-rival after the Peach Bowl game. They're ranked number 9 currently. You can still see a world where they hit a stride and they finish the season inside the top 5. And then LSU dropped 9 spots to number 13 after losing to Ole Miss. They basically traded places with Ole Miss, and that's another future non-conference opponent. So you can't fault Arizona State. You can't say that they're avoiding any confrontation. They are welcoming it, and that is very, very commendable in my mind. So yeah, Kenny Dillingham has this team in a great spot. The Sun Devils are well equipped to compete over the remainder of the season. They took care of business against Baylor and TCU, which is just the first 2 games of the gauntlet that they had going into the season that many saw as the toughest part of the season. And the Mississippi State loss is more or less in the rearview mirror. It looks like the team on both sides of the ball are starting to hit their stride. The defense has been, I wouldn't say dominant, but they've been very, very stout against 2 of the best quarterbacks in the conference, possibly the 2 best quarterbacks outside of Sam Leavitt. They've been very, very good, even with Xavier Alford and other players out, as I mentioned before. The offense gained them nearly 500 yards of There's nearly 500 yards of total offense gained by Marcus Arroyo's unit, and they only scored 27 points, but you can see the cogs clicking. You can see a world where they start really hitting their stride, and Raleek Brown is a big part of that. The supporting receiving crew did their part. Malik McClain had a big 15-yard catch. Jaron Hamilton had his first big play of the season. The tight ends continue to do their thing. So complimentary football continues to be a bread and butter of Arizona State football. And I'm so excited to cover the rest of the season for Arizona State, for the fans. And that is really all I have for today. Just want to thank you for your continued support. Your support means the world to me, and I will see you tomorrow.